Hi, Bjorn. Hi, Hjalmar. Do I say your name correctly? Is Hjalmar right? Hi, Joe. Hi, Archer. Also, hello, everyone on TikTok. See, I told you I would be trying to go live as often as I can, and I think I'm like quite delivering. I am going live later than I wanted today. Hi, Prexis. We had an 8 hour, sorry, I'm lying, a 7.5 hour blackout today. I had electricity for 2 hours even. In that time frame, I recorded an episode of Red Lines with Starsky, and the second that we ended recording, ended just like talking behind the scenes, I go to my kitchen, open my fridge to see what's in it because I realized that the only thing I've eaten today was a croissant. My power goes out as I'm like staring at the fridge, and there is nothing to like really eat, and I'm like, oh great. So I went and looked up a silpo that's open till midnight because by that point it was already like 10 something. Hi Maria. Hi Hi Glitter is a neutral rose. That's very pretty. So yes, so I don't think I've seen you here before, but hello, nice to meet you. Hi Mark. So I went to Silpo, I got some food, I came back home, and I scheduled this live. We were supposed to have an electricity outage until 2 a.m. And as I was setting up the live, as I was like about to go log on, the electric turned back on, and I was like, "Ah, this is a sign." I mean, not really, but I would have done the live anyway because I already scheduled it. Hi, Zero. But it was nice. But it was nice to have it. It was nice to get electricity back. It was a long day because of like the electric outage because I basically couldn't do half the work that I was planning on doing. It's like we were supposed to have a 2 hour outage in the middle of the day while I was at work. So I was supposed to come back from work at 2 today or like a little after 2. And we were supposed to have a power outage in my building from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So it's really not that bad. I would have just walked in, walked my dogs. Like it takes me like 30 minutes in traffic to get home from work. So would have gotten here at 2:30, walked the dogs, gotten something to eat or something like that, and boom, the power would have been back on. I walk into my building, it's like pitch black, and I'm asking the security guard, how long the power outage has been, and he's like, "Oh, it's Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Hi, Winston." And he's like, "Oh, it's gonna last till like 8 p.m." And I was like, "What? You mean what?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, because they hit a lot of infrastructure in and around Lviv, Lutsk, and Ivano-Frankivsk today." Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Hi, Lars. From the very beginning, Ukraine has captured my Australian heart. Oh, you're from Australia. Hi, that's so nice. How are things with your family in Lviv? So, hi, Carolyn. So, you guys don't worry. All of the strikes that were, I think the issue with like airstrikes reporting, especially in English for foreign audiences, is they don't distinguish between Lviv city and Lviv region. It's like imagine if London, London was like in Londonshire, and like New York. Well, New York is a city and New York is a state, right? That's a good example. So a lot of the airstrikes happened in Lviv as an oblast, as a region, but none of them really happened in Lviv as a city. So my family is fine. I also really don't like when our channels are reporting like, oh, there is all of these missiles going onto Lviv, and they mean region, but they don't say region, they just say Lviv. So I automatically obviously get really worried because I think my parents. But most of the airstrikes today happened in Stry, which is a city near Lviv in Lviv region. A lot of them, Lutsk had like a really, really bad one today. I think it was like the worst one they've experienced since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. Stuff was just flying at them because Lutsk is kind of like located, so it's above Lviv. It's in Volyn region, and it's, I think, the only region in Ukraine that's actually not called after its capital city. There usually nothing happens there because it's kind of like in a location that's not necessarily very interesting for Russia. So they usually it's a pretty like as far as regions in Ukraine go, I actually think that like or cities in Ukraine go, I think Lutsk is one of the safest. Thank you, Edlums. So yeah, they barely ever have anything happening, anything happening to am I in New York now, Nadia? No, I'm in Kyiv. They usually don't have anything happening to them, but today there was like a lot of stuff going on. I actually, for the first time, I saw the mayor of Lutsk because he put out like a warning for people to go to the bomb shelter, and he was like saying that some electric transport wasn't working. We have a lot of trolley buses. They're connected to the electric grid, to the electric cables, so they weren't running because they can't run without electricity. So there was that happening. Then Ivano-Frankivsk. So Carlos is asking, is Vasil's family okay? That's his region. His family lives very, very deep in the region. They live like kind of almost in the Carpathian. Well, they live in the Carpathian Mountains, just not like we have the pre-mountain regions, the mountain regions, and the very deep into the mountain region. So they live in like the mountain region. Usually nothing really happens where they are. It's just it's like a very foresty, very rural area, and it's like farmland basically, but not really because it's in the mountains. And I'm just trying to give you a perspective of like how things are there. It's like house, nothing, 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 house. So even if it's like targeting Ivano-Frankivsk, it's probably never going to be anywhere near Vasil's family. So yes, he's fine. So sounds familiar. What sounds familiar? Love to see doggos getting along. Oh my gosh. Hi Kurt, good to see you. Yeah, they're getting along, and they're getting along very well. Sometimes I love to see it, and sometimes I just wish that they would be like sleeping or not doing whatever it is that they're doing. Thank you, Nadia. And also hi Taz mom, or to AZ mom. Ladies, see, I was recording a conversation with Starsky today for Red Lines, and by the end of it, like as it was coming up on an hour, the dogs were doing exactly that. And it's like one thing when it's my live because it's very casual, right? But it's like you can't really deal with it when you're recording for Red Lines, because like I have to ask the video editor to take this out, obviously, because this is ridiculous. But at some point I just got so tired of having to like ask them to chill out that I was just like, you know what, whatever, I'm just gonna act like nothing's happening, and maybe no one's gonna notice. And they weren't making like the little bulldog noises, they were just kind of like running around. So I was like, you know what, whatever. See, you on TikTok don't see what's happening, but people on YouTube literally get a full picture of these dogs currently having like an MMA fight on my back. So that happens quite often. But yes, happy Turkey Day, you guys. Oh, thank you, Zola. Jesus Christ. Okay, maybe you're seeing it on TikTok a little bit now as well. Ladies, can you maybe stop? Do you like want to chill out? It's like no. Listen. This was not an invitation. Not an invitation. No. On the contrary. No. Child dog. Oh my god. Як ваші справи? Та добре, як ваші. Simmer down now, ladies. Yeah, that will never happen. Oh, let me plug in the light, because the light always gets. It's like one of those things that that is portable, but if you like don't plug it in, it really only lasts like very little time. So it's super annoying. And if I don't have this light kind of here, then YouTube is really dark. So I always try to have it on. Okay. What am I missing? Rambunctious tonight. Yeah, they're very rambunctious tonight. They're actually acting kind of crazy tonight. Like more so than usual. Baba dog. Baba baby dog. Okay. Chill. But see, I don't like that you're laying down on me, because I know you're not done playing. So that means that Cindy is gonna jump on top of me to hang out with you. Okay, can you leave? Thank you. No, not across my computer, baby. Papa, okay, listen. Come here. No, that. Girls, I barely managed to get everything done today. Let me work. Let me work. See, this is what I mean. This is what I... Oh my god, dude. No. Okay, listen. Okay. Okay. No. Hey, I'm not a playmat. Okay. Listen. Okay, ladies. Off. Oh, no. Listen. Okay. All good and jolly, but that way, there's no space to do this here. Come on. Move it. Move your butt. Go away. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay. I'm back. I don't know how long this is gonna last. But sometimes it's best to surrender. The Hawaiian language has the word kahu, guardian or protector, a person who's entrusted with the safekeeping of something precious like a pet. I've actually heard about that, Brian. That's very sweet. I really like the word, and you know, maybe I've been entrusted in safekeeping these little thingies, but they're very much not safekeeping me. Hi, Nick. Your cat-shaped Frenchies are having a wild time. Cat-shaped? They're pig-shaped. I place a $5 bet on the black dog to win. Well, see, Ed, you mean Cinny, because Maeve is actually getting slightly chocolatey, so she's not the black dog. It's terribly funny. I love the dogs. Yeah, they're very funny. Also, let me Tufka, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I really, really, really do appreciate that. Seriously. It means a lot, and it does go a very long way. So I will say, if you guys have an ability to subscribe to the live feature, like right here, or send gifts, or subscribe to the YouTube membership feature, it really helps me with the bills, and it also is very useful when it's like these monthly subscriptions, because that way I know what to expect every month, and it's a huge part of my income. Thank you, Zero. And it might, like, when I say a huge part of my income, it sounds like I'm making so much money. I'm not. I think this month I actually I'm set to make $90 on TikTok, and that is my best months in the past 6 months. Like, just for your information. I mean, like, off of videos. And it's you know, the Purge Bridge is coming down before January 20th, 2025. See, everyone keeps saying that, but I don't want to like say that as a certain because we obviously can't be certain, and then I don't want to be disappointed, and I don't want to disappoint anyone else either. So there is that. Yeah, so I actually ended up posting hi Martin. Oh my gosh, good to see you. I ended up posting a video on TikTok today, and the video is about the fact that we are in World War III, and no matter how much you deny it, the signs are all there. And it's funny because a bunch of historians and a bunch of people who are into history are actually writing that they agree with me, especially people who are specifically World War II historians by profile. So this is literally their specialization, right? This is their major. This is like their area of study or field of study, and everyone agrees. And then the people that I was literally mentioning in my video that are going to disagree are disagreeing and calling me crazy, and I find it so funny when that happens. There are also quite a few people that are saying, actually, no, this is not, like, I partially agree with you. This is not World War III and not a precursor to World War III. It's more like the Cold War, which is why I made the thumbnail of today's live about how we were duped about the Cold War. I will try to make a TikTok video about it as well, just to have it, because there were quite a few comments like that. And obviously there are more people who are probably going to see the video than there are people who are going to be, hi, LWD English, good to see you. Welcome back. Like, there are people that are going to see this live. It's not like people think that we have now. Some people think that the people that I guess disagree that we're like steadily approaching World War III, but kind of agree that something's wrong, think that it's a Cold War. And I understand why you would think that, because, you know, the previous Cold War ended. But the thing is, the fundamental, I guess not misunderstanding, but mistake here is that the Cold War never ended because Russia's policy towards the US never changed. I think when we think about the Cold War, most people think about nukes. So people associate the Cold War as like nuclear threats, and that's what the Cold War was. But that's not what the Cold War was. That was just one of the parts of the Cold War. The largest part of the Cold War was isolationism. And it was the tension between the two ideologies, right? And it was kind of like Russia and the US being in this like standoff. And it wasn't necessarily just a nuclear standoff. It was, that was just like, that was just the cherry on top of the cake. It was about ideology, and it was about Russia developing strategies of how to like destroy the US, there being no trust between Russia and the US and Russia working against each other, the US and Russia competing in everything, right? And more than just the US and Russia, it was like the Western democratic societies against like the totalitarian societies. That was the Cold War. But there weren't conflicts directly influencing either of these countries, right? Where they were battling each other on those battlefields. This is different because, first of all, Russia has already been doing all of the Cold War stuff to the US for the past 30 years. So since the Cold War ended as like, on paper, it didn't, because Russia's policy of competing with the US, isolating from the US, lying to the US, spying on the US, installing information beneficial to Russia in the US, and all of these things, that never ended. It just started happening covertly, because the difference between like the Cold War as what we know it as and what was happening until recently, when it actually started coming to a head and heating up, Russia, China, Iran, etc., versus the rest of us. Yeah. So the difference between that is when the history books Cold War was happening, it was very evident. There was an Iron Curtain, right? Like the US and Russia were both very vocal about the fact that they're like isolating from each other and they're competing in all of this stuff. Like there were all of these nuclear threats flying around, which now there are too. So it was very evident. In the past 30 years, Russia and the US, Russia wasn't acting like it's in a deliberate Cold War with the US. In fact, it was acting like everything's fine. Like they're talking, they're like exchanging nuclear information, everyone's following protocols, everyone's following agreements, everything's good and jolly. And that was the dupe, right? Because behind the scenes, while the US was letting Russians live in the US and Russian immigration and trade with Russia and, like exchange of information with Russia and partnerships with Russia and diplomacy with Russia and all of this stuff, Russia wasn't doing that back. Russia was just like, yeah, we're so interested in being friendly. But behind the scenes, doing everything they were doing in the Cold War and more, and installing their, information operations and installing politicians that are favorable to them and changing kind of like the climate in the country and doing everything like that. And to me, that is a lot more a Cold War than the actual Cold War, because we call it the Iron Curtain because we weren't allowed to know what's happening in the Soviet Union, but we knew about it. Here, Russia was pretending like we are allowed into Russia. We are allowed tourism into Moscow. We are allowed all of these things. But in reality, we were not really. It's like, one of the things about the Soviet Union and their like iron fist on tourism, especially from America, and their like journalist visas from the West and stuff like that, was that you were only allowed in Moscow. But it's not, it hasn't really changed. Like, yes, you're also allowed in St. Petersburg, you're also allowed in Yekaterinburg, you're also allowed in these big cities, but how many people have actually ever been to like rural Russia? How many people have taken road trips through Russia that are not like Russians? How many people have, some people have taken like the train across Russia, right? Because it's like a cool thing to do, like, Polar Express type of deal, right? But those are still like very much controlled environments, because most of us were not exposed to the reality of Russia. Most of us were not shown that, like, hey, Russia is not this like prospering country with like Moscow and St. Petersburg and all of these like luxuries and whatever, and designer clothes and girls with big lips and their oligarch husbands, and like Chanel bags everywhere. But the reality of Russia is actually really bad roads, no public spaces where people can hang out, like no infrastructure, no electric infrastructure, no sewage systems, extreme poverty and destitution, like, you know, no light posts in like in villages and more rural areas. Like, that's the real Russia. When you watch Russian movies, you don't you don't see any other parts of Russia. Those movies are always set either in St. Petersburg or in Moscow, and people travel between St. Petersburg and Moscow. You don't see anything else. There is also this bit where, like, you know, Russian isolationism and like the sort of like Cold War also worked very well internally. Happy Thanksgiving, Michael. Also worked a lot internally, because one of the things that Russia does is like they change Western narratives in movies. So, for instance, in every movie that someone says something bad about Russia or Putin, they censor it. And instead of like, for in a lot of like action movies, there will be like, oh, I'll like someone will say, I'm a cold-blooded killer like Putin, or we should be like cold-blooded killers like the Russians, or, you know, like something about like, I don't know, something about things like that. And they will change that in Russian dubbing and in Russian versions of the movie to say something completely different. Like, oh, we should be cold-blooded killers like the Nazis. Or, oh, you know, if someone says like, I will like off you and not even have a second thought about it, like Putin would do, they will translate it as like, oh, I'll off you and not even have a second thought about it, like every great dictator would do, or something like that. Like, they don't, you know, they censor it because they don't want their population to know that everyone else in the world sees Russia for what it is, right? But not necessarily, well, not for what it is, because we clearly, most people in the world and most world leaders didn't see Russia for what it was, but sort of like see Putin for like, you know, a cold-blooded dictator. So there has been a lot of things like that, and no one noticed this. No one noticed that Russian movies are only showing us Moscow and St. Petersburg. No one noticed that we are not exposed to like anything Russian internally. But also, interestingly, you know, while people here in the West were like swooning over Russian writers and Pushkins and Dostoevsky and Russian ballet and all of this stuff, right? When we meet Russian people in person, no one likes them. They're rude, they're like loud, all of this stuff. So it's so funny how like in our heads we have been given this image of Russia as this like super cultured nation with like ballet and great writers and stuff. Yet when we meet them in person, and absolutely all of them are like crude and brazen assholes, we don't like think about, wait, something doesn't add up. You know? Okay, Maven, excuse you. First of all. Maven. Okay. Only if you don't start fighting with Cinny. And they insist everyone around them speaks Russian. Yes. Which is almost funny because they're all exactly like Adolf. Well, not all, as in like their like society is just like incredibly brainwashed, complacent, and happy to think that they're above everyone while like not having sewage system is installed. But it is what it is. You know what I saw today that's kind of unrelated to the Cold War, but very interesting, is there is a movie, like a Hollywood movie being made about the war in Ukraine, which I'm very happy about, because like it you know, one of the ways that Russia was able to dupe us so easily is because instead of creating books and literature and sort of like academia style pieces about Russia, right, they were inserting narratives about them into pop culture, which is why so many people were aware of it. So there is a movie I'm an American and I have many Russian and Ukrainian friends. And like, I don't know why you're telling a Ukrainian that you have many Russian friends, as if, like, it's something, as if it's something that I'd be like, oh yay about. It's I like, I don't know why people still do that. I'm a Ukrainian and I live in a country that keeps getting bombed by Russia every single day, and I doubt your Russian friends have ever done anything to prevent that, have ever donated to Ukrainian charities, have ever helped Ukrainian defenders, or have ever actually admitted that they're wrong, and have ever told you that Russian culture is imperialist. Because if you ask them about the Russian culture, they'll tell you, oh, but Pushkin didn't do anything. Why are you being mean to Pushkin? Or like, oh, stop, like, Russians are being so mistreated. We're such victims. When, like, in reality, it's because most of the Russian society, whether they're abroad or in Russia, are literally doing jack shit to help the war on Ukraine's side or stop the war on Russia's side. So yeah, I mean, kudos to you for having Russian friends and feeling the need to tell me that. Okay, so this is something that I found that's very interesting, but here's the thing. I always have like high hopes. I always have Daku. I always have high hopes for like Western movies about the war in Ukraine, and it's always like expectations versus reality meme, right? Password funny, hi. And so there is a movie or a TV series that's going to be being filmed in 2025 and coming out, I guess, like in 2026, about the war in Ukraine. And it stars no one other than Paul Wesley, which, if you guys have seen The Vampire Diaries, it's Stefan from The Vampire Diaries. If you don't know anything about this man, his name is actually Paweł Wasilewski, and he is Polish. He's Polish American or Polish Canadian, I think Polish American, but he like was born in Poland. His parents are super Polish. He grew up very Polish. He speaks Polish fluently. He like goes to Poland. So he's super in touch with his like culture. So that makes me, because he's both the main character and one of the producers and directors of this. So that gives me a lot of hope that this movie is this TV series is actually going to be portraying the events hi Steve, the events accurately. But I mean, I feel like I always give it too much credit. But here's this. Paul Wesley, best known for his role in The Vampire Diaries, is set to star in Unspoken, a new series centered on the war in Ukraine, Deadline reports. Filming for Unspoken is scheduled to begin in the winter of 2025-2026. The story follows Pavlo, a former soldier portrayed by Wesley, who returns from Poland to Ukraine at the onset of Russia's invasion to save his family. A lot of people actually did that in 2022. A lot of men who were working in Poland and have been living in Poland for quite a while came back and enlisted into the military. So this is already promising because it's a real kind of like, it's a very realistic storyline, no matter what the trolls are going to say. But it is a very realistic storyline. There was a lot of that happening in 2022. And in a world stricken by war, I'm passionate about bringing the human side of this conflict to life through the lens of one man and his family. I hope viewers connect with Paul's struggle and take away something meaningful about life, values and resilience from his journey, and a renewed understanding of the human spirit under pressure, Wesley said. So this does seem like it's going to be very much filmed from a Ukrainian perspective. There is going to be a Polish man who is also a Hollywood actor portraying a Ukrainian man. I also honestly think that one of the things that I would really appreciate is, I would have appreciated if they actually hired a Ukrainian American actor, not a Polish American actor, but a girl can dream, right? Though I will say that because Paul Wesley speaks Polish fluently and it's his first language, I think that it would be very easy for him to learn lines in Ukrainian and actually like speak Ukrainian during the show, because it would be great if I know the show is going to be in English. I know it's meant for foreign audiences. It should be in English, but in a lot of the show, not in a lot of, but in quite a few modern shows, they do include Ukrainian speech with like people in the background, just to sort of like set the tone and sort of introduce people to the culture. So I do think it's great that they at least chose a Polish man and not like an American Pole who like maybe speaks some Polish, but like a person who literally speaks Polish fluently since their childhood. So that means that their ability to learn Ukrainian or like Ukrainian lines shouldn't be quite high, because while they're not super similar, Polish and Ukrainian are not very similar. We have a lot of the same letters and a lot of the same sounds, so he can easily reproduce the sounds and not sound like an American who's been fed a couple of Ukrainian lines and says them in like a very broken, weird Ukrainian from Google Translate. One of the things I actually really, really appreciated about the movie that we talked about last time is that everyone in the like every background character that was Ukrainian, or every character that was Ukrainian in the show spoke actual Ukrainian. It was either Ukrainian actors or Ukrainian voice actors who were voicing over the like the people, right? And it was fantastic to see, because I think it was the first movie, like a big Hollywood, like big screen movie, right, with a big budget and a movie that like grossed a lot of money in the box office, right, that had literal Ukrainians speaking in it. Because normally you'll if it talks about Ukraine, you'll get Russian as like, as people speaking in the streets and stuff. And if you do get Ukrainian, if you are so lucky that someone utters a sentence in Ukrainian, it's going to be with like a profound American accent and a person who doesn't actually understand how to speak it, because they just learned, they don't even know what they're saying, right? They just learned like a line that was given to them. And they don't know how to like pronounce words. They don't know what they're saying. Their like intonation is all screwed up because like they don't know what they're saying. Oh my gosh, thank you, adventures. Hi, Rebecca's, and hi, Lamb Chop, and thank you, Lamb Chop, for the gifts. Thank you guys for the gifts on TikTok. Also, that thing was really cute. So yeah, so it's I'm actually very hopeful that the same thing is going to be happening in this TV show, where Paul Wesley is actually going to be like learning how to speak Ukrainian, or learning like things in Ukrainian and pronouncing them well, and kind of like at least acting like he speaks the language, rather than just like some random English speakers uttering weird things in Ukrainian that a Ukrainian person can't even understand because they're butchered so much. Okay, someone in caps lock is asking if I'm going to be a Ukrainian leader. What do you mean? Am I trying to run for the Ukrainian government? Absolutely not. Which Vampire Diary brother? Stefan. Hollywood should offer you a part. No, I don't. Like, I am actually a horrendous actress. I don't know how to act at all. I don't want to act at all. I get really awkward when it's I wouldn't be good at that. I could do dubbing. Like, I would love to do voiceovers if there is a need for that, but I don't think I could. I'm not acting material. I'm really not a good actor. I'm like one of those, like, overplayed. Oh my god, emotionally, like I can't, I like not a thing. Like if I needed to like act out emotions, it would be like super theatrical, overblown, ridiculous, and stuff like that. Wishing Chernobyl series had actors with Ukrainian accents, British again. Same with Holodomor movie featuring Jeremy Fans and Urin Baynard. Yeah, that's what I. Oh, hi, Vaxis Practice. Hi, Shay. But yeah, I know what you mean. I like the Chernobyl series, but also it was called my issue with the series is that it's not called the Chernobyl Diaries. It's called the Chernobyl Diaries, which is like the Russian way of saying a name of the Ukrainian city. And there wasn't any Ukrainian mentioned there at all. And still in Ukraine, like a lot of these people would have been speaking Ukrainian even in the Soviet Union. Yulia, I watched Mr. Jones this morning. It was a reminder of how much I have to be thankful for today and every day. Thank you for the recommendation. Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. I mean, like it's weird to say. I'm sorry. Someone says Daniel Craig would have been a better choice. For what? Daniel Craig would have been a better choice to play a Ukrainian soldier who came back from living in Poland for a while. Daniel Craig, who's British and doesn't speak English. Sorry, doesn't speak Polish or Ukrainian. Also, I'm now understanding what this demon cleaner person is, and normally I don't do this, but I would like to. But I would like to demonstrate why I'm going to ask my moderators to block this person after a little while. Don't block him yet, but I feel like there are quite a few absolutely insane people that follow me, and that's okay. But then these insane people decide to like unleash their insanity onto me through emails. And a lot of the times I actually miss a lot of the emails because of my ADHD, which I feel like is bad. But every single time I actually put an effort to go through my emails, I find the weirdest stuff. So this person emails me and they're just sending me an article to read. Okay, cool. That's nice. I was like, I'll read it later. The next email is just like a bunch of text that is also okay, but a little much, right? And then the next two emails is where I'm like, wow, okay, well, the reason why I'm probably not getting a fifth email is because I blocked it before I could do that. Better yet, I'd rather not be your loyal agent here in America spreading the gospel of Ukraine. You do your own goddamn dirty work. You're like the HR lady for Mercado's Troll Factory or something. Demon Cleaner 00, here, proof to you of you sending this. The next one. No subject. Seriously, take your fucking clown show somewhere else. You and your Mexican sidekick. I don't even know who he's referring to. I also don't know how I got tied into Mercado Media because I've heard about this channel. I have never ever in my life, Yulia, I have never ever in my life actually interacted with them. So I don't know what this person even means. They're clearly having a psychotic freaking episode, but and it's okay. I'm like, I've had followers before that are actually like, and I don't mean like, I don't consider. So here's the thing: I consider this a community, and I consider most of you guys like friends. And I'm not saying this in like a cheesy way. We're like, oh my god, we're all friends. Like we are, like obviously, I haven't met a lot of you in person. Some of you I have, but as in like, you know, we interact, we talk all the time. Like I have conversations with you on Instagram, like on Twitter, and like in other places, and all of this stuff. It's just like we're like, we know each other, right? And then there are some people that just like randomly watch the channel. And this is not the first time that I literally get some fucking insane people that will like watch my channel, decide that somehow I am at their disposal, and they just write these things to me. I don't respond to them within the 15-minute fucking time frame that they expect to receive a response from me from an email from. And they start sending me these asinine messages, like calling me names and telling me that I'm like a bitch and that they're done like trying to help me with my channel. I don't even know what they freaking mean by that because I've never ever interacted with them, right? It's like, I'm gonna block you, I hate you, you're stupid, you're a bitch, like whatever. And then they will like, I will not respond to that either. And then they will come back and they will start like saying things like nothing happened, sending me articles and sending me like other stuff. I again will at this point not respond because they're insane, and they will start sending me insults and like calling me names and like telling me I'm like whatever. It's like, dude, I don't know you. I don't know you. You sending me insane messages, or anyone really, like, is trying to get a reaction, right? And like, this is probably one out of like 50 messages that I've received like that. I never react to them. So you're not actually going to get a reaction. This one person is getting a reaction on YouTube right now because they're in the chat, right? But in general, it's like, I don't know what the hell you expect. First of all, I'm not your maid, and I don't work for you. So like, you sending me like ridiculously fucking long paragraphs and thinking that if I don't respond in 15 minutes, this entitles you to tell me that I'm like a bitch and I don't care and I like whatever, you know, like, it's like, dude, get a grip. Also, like, I don't know, maybe get like a hobby or something other than harassing people that you don't know that you sometimes watch online, because it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, also maybe take your racist self out of here. And it's funny because these people always basically end up like blackmailing me with saying that they're not going to support Ukraine anymore because I'm a bitch or like whatever. It's like, you didn't support Ukraine either. You didn't support Ukraine to begin with, right? You're like looking for reasons to blackmail me into like talking to you. Grumpy, they're not on TikTok, they're on YouTube, and it's Demon Cleaner or something like that. Um who's currently telling me I'm done. Period. All right. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy. Password funny. Listen, I'm not actually getting like right uh, uh, like not actually getting worked up about this. I find these kinds of things kind of funny, right? I find them like quite hilarious. I also think that these stories are just like funny to tell because these emails came through like a couple of days ago, and I like didn't pay attention to them. Well, I mean, I saw them when they all came in. So it's not like I saw one and I was like, oh, whatever, right? It's like, no, no, I saw them when there were already four because I'm so bad at checking this email. I actually need to change the email that I have as like, oh, my contact email, because I don't ever end up checking this one, and I end up uh, missing messages from people that are actually like very sweet and very nice and are looking for information. But I like saw that my email lit up and it was like some handle that I don't recognize, and I'm like, oh, probably someone was trying to like reach me. And I opened these messages and they're like asinine. And I'm just like, what is wrong with people? But then like I saw this person in the chat, so I figured that I would like that I wouldn't just ignore it. I would like let them know, because this is the whole thing about these people. It's like they think that because I like don't want to lose a follower, I will just like act like, like whatever. And it's like, no, I don't care for like the following. It's just, like, you're crazy. Please, like, please, you don't want to support Ukraine because I am someone's sidekick or PR lady or like whatever of a channel that I don't even necessarily know. Then sure, don't support Ukraine. Please leave. I think a lot of it is MAGA or similar, matching great leaders, 1.28 GPA energy. Yeah, exactly. Mm, yeah, I tell them to play Stalker 2. Well, actually, so there is a scandal with Stalker 2. Did you see the scandal with Stalker 2? Well, not scandal, but it's like there is some game reviewing channel on YouTube that or on Twitch or something like that. It's like very big. Hi, Lauren, and this channel basically like did a review of Stalker and said that it was a great game, like great gameplay, obviously some glitches and bugs, but that's like normal when a game just comes out. And then they basically retreated into saying that there are too many nationalist there's too much nationalist symbolism in the game, and they demonstrated a pack of matches as like one of the examples. Like, you don't have to put a Ukrainian flag on everything. Like in most American games, thank you, Katie, thank you. In most American games, there is an American flag in like literally every freaking part of the game, especially something like I don't know, something like GTA or Mafia or even like Hitman or whatever. Like there are so many like American symbolisms and stuff, and no one says anything, right? But if it's Ukrainian, of course it's overboard. But this guy basically found it's a Ukrainian game, right? Like we're gonna have like Ukrainian things in the Ukrainian game, especially set in a Ukrainian city of Chernobyl, right? But so this person pointed out how it was like way too much nationalism, and they like put too much like they did too much, because there was a box of matches with the Ukrainian flag on it. And it's like, oh, why do you need to do it so much in your face? Like, oh, come on, this is a box of matches. The funny thing is that this box is a box of matches that had existed quite literally since, I want to say, like the independence of Ukraine. This is the matches that this man was so triggered about. Every household has these matches in their household. Like everywhere you go and you ask for matches, they're going to give you these matches, because these are the most like run-of-the-mill standard matches that one can find. They're everywhere. They're everywhere in this country. Every bodega, every kiosk, everything. I don't have matches in my house, but if I did, these would be the matches, because like when you go to buy because when you go to buy matches, these are the ones you're going to buy. And also, I'm so sorry for the crime of putting a Ukrainian flag or Ukrainian national colors. It's not even like a Ukrainian flag. It's just like, these are matches made in Ukraine, so they put blue and yellow on them and a Cossack. We're so sorry for the crime of using our national colors for something made in Ukraine. Like what? Did we forget that half of the American men wear American flag trunks to swim? Did we forget that English people do that with the British flag too? What? What? Mm. Oh, hi, Karen. Good to see you. And they come in packs of multiples. In fact, you can buy a pack of 10 of these for, I believe, 650 hryvnias, which is, wow, such a huge inflation since I was a child and these were a hryvnia per matchbox. Oh, I see. This is these are people trying to sell these matches with an uptick in price probably because of Stalker 2, because people are probably going to be buying them. Because I just found the same matches, a 10-pack for 100 hryvnias. And here is no, this is a 10-pack for 12 hryvnias. This sounds a lot more reasonable. I was like, what? Matches cannot be that much money. Yeah, it's a 10-pack for 12 hryvnias. The rest is just hype. Okay, bud, what are you doing? Why are you growling? Dave, who are you growling at? Dog. Who are you growling at? Who are you growling at? Who are you growling at? Did you guys hear her growl? I need to get her a winter jacket because while Cindy absolutely hates clothing and doesn't like wearing it, this one gets cold and asks for a jacket. You did not hear her? Maybe growling at demon cleaner. Oh my god, that's so funny, Archer. Mm. The dude that hate the matches would hate to go to Sweden. Our flag is blue and yellow too. Yeah, I actually really like the Swedish flag. I will say that you Swedes could work on your artistry of instruction manuals of how to put furniture together. Where's your bubs? This dog is so over me. You think you're the only one who can play with me? I can play with you too. I can use you as a playmat. You use me as a playmat. I use you as a playmat. That's how it works. She got so big. How old is Maeve now? She is going to be 8 months old in 2 weeks. She's going to be 8 months old on the 11th. Getting mad over the color of a matchbox is insane. Yeah, I agree. But some people, some people need something to criticize. Have any of you played Stalker 2 yet? I found out today that the sound designer on my set at work, his brother-in-law or brother is one of the sound designers for Stalker 2. Only pause. Flags on King's Day and when we are competing in some football tournament. Leave the World Behind movie is a great example to that video you made about World War III. Is that the one? I think someone was telling me about that video today. Give me 1 second. Leave the World Behind. Who is in it? Oh, wow. Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts. I think someone was telling me about this movie. I haven't seen it, but I will watch it now. 2023 makes sense. I have it on Xbox Game Pass, but haven't started yet. Ooh, they have that 10-pack of matches on Etsy for $16.81. That's what I'm saying, because people are going to start ordering these matches because of Stalker 2. So, clever business people are putting it on eBay to sell it for ridiculous amounts of money. For your information, I found a 10-pack for 12 hryvnias, which 12 hryvnias is literally 10 hryvnias is 25 cents. So, oh my god, let's go, guys. Also, someone needs to play Oh, Nick, really? You watched that? Yes, you watched the movie yesterday. Kurt has been playing for about a week. Oh, Kurt, what do you think? Is Kurt still here? I want to know, because I haven't actually $50 for a 10-pack on eBay. See, I told you this is gonna start like a popular thing. That's so funny. $50 for a 10-pack? Wow, these people are making bank if they sell any of these, because it's 25 cents for a 10-pack, which actually makes sense. Play Stalker 2 game, please. I really want to, but so I don't currently have a platform to play it on, because as I'm understanding, I can't play it on my iMac or my MacBook. Sorry, I don't have a PC computer. Neither do I have an Xbox, nor do I have a PS5. So I am not. I can't really play it right now, but I would really like to. I'm actually so curious. I really like Mafia as a game, and I really like Hitman, and I really liked GTA, but I didn't like the most recent one. I liked San Andreas a lot. And yeah, San Andreas was probably the last one that I liked. You can play Xbox Cloud. What's Xbox Cloud? Yulia, have you heard about Musk's attack on Alexander Vindman? Is that the one that happened today, where he was blackmailing him on Twitter or threatening him on Twitter? What is Xbox Cloud? I'm so curious now, but also I really need Boomer Exposed. Xbox Cloud. The hell is that? Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta. Interesting. Ooh, and the first thing that comes up is Stalker 2. That's so funny. Sign in. I don't have a profile. Find a Windows VM or something for Mac. I'm not going to be screwing with my computer. I'm not going to be so for anyone who says oh, find some software for for my Mac, I'm not doing anything to my Mac. Okay. Yeah, I'm not doing anything to my thank you. I'm not doing anything to my MacBook. I'm not installing Windows software. I'm this is not happening. I don't yeah, no. Sorry. I'm not that invested, and I don't want to do that to my computer. Hi Gloria. But let me see. Xbox, sign in. Don't have an account? Create one. Okay, let's do this. I'm actually very curious. And it glows blue and yellow. That's cool. is already a Microsoft account. No, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this behind the scenes, but it's interesting. Thank you for telling me about this. I'm gonna try and play this through Xbox Cloud thing. If that works, it'll be cool. Virginian, he won. Aw. I'm back. Stalker 2 has been great. I'm totally new to the series and love the concept of the artifacts and different factions. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm really curious to see what the game is like. I haven't, like, I know what Stalker is because obviously every boy that I grew up with in Ukraine has played Stalker and, like, you know, was obsessed with it. And for a very long time, I thought it was a Western game and did not even know it was a Ukrainian game until, like, until recently. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. And yeah, and that's kind of that's what it is. Yeah, that's all I have. But what is Stalker? Oh, it's a video game. When will they hit the Kremlin? We're not going to be hitting the Kremlin. This is not something Ukraine would ever be allowed to do, and this is not something that we would do. But I went on my phone to check on something, and then I forgot what it was supposed to be. First Stalker was literally in Pripyat. Well, Chernobyl nuclear power plant is in Pripyat. I think this one is based in Pripyat too, right? Let me see. Stalker 2 official trailer. I play and I'm currently playing World of Warcraft. Odin, do you play Xbox or do you play on your PC? Because you should download Stalker 2 because all the proceeds from Stalker 2 go to the Ukrainian military. I have a PC, Xbox, and a PlayStation. Wow, you are very committed to. Okay, so you play, you really play. Okay, well then you can download it onto your PC or your Xbox, depending what you like. Is it on Steam? Yes. Yes, and I have kids. I know. I am frankly, I am like, I am. What is it? I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I think I would not. I would not manage three three game consoles and two children, but um, Yulia, do you know about the Silent Hill 2 remake? No. Silent Hill 2 remake. Wow. Interesting. Huh. Very interesting. You guys, I now have so many movies that I need to watch. Can you multiplay Stalker 2? That's probably a better question for Kurt, not for me. Fudge, I can't spell. What's Stalker 2? Stalker 2 is probably also in the same area. Yeah, it is. I'm too excited about talking computer games with you. Yeah, I'm very excited to try and play the computer game. When your childhood games start to, yeah, well, see, I grew up, I grew up watching Gossip Girl, and there is a Gossip Girl reboot. And also, I saw a video of some girl who appears to be like 17 saying, I just got my first vintage Juicy Couture tracksuit. And I was a teen when Juicy Couture tracksuits were like the shit. So, you know, the fact that it's vintage for someone is like, I'm 30. I'm not 79. Well, actually, vintage is like what vintage is supposed to be. I think it's like 50 years or 100 years, something like that. Like, it's not supposed to be like that was like 15 years ago. It wasn't like 70 years ago. It wasn't 80 years ago. It was 15 years ago. That's not vintage. That's not vintage. That's like mid 2000s. It's not vintage. What? Next thing you know, they'll buy the first iPhone and call it the vintage phone. I know, right? Odin, did you start downloading Stalker yet? Hmm. This is a very desperate troll. It really wants attention, so I'll give it to them on YouTube. Isn't there an iPhone museum already? Yeah, in every Yabko or Yabluka store in Ukraine, which is it's a Ukrainian word for apple. In every one of those stores, they have an Apple museum and they have like vintage Apple stuff there. Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving! Seriously, have juicy button downs from high school when they were sold at tiny boutiques. Yeah, yeah, right. 15 is heavily used, but not vintage. And is someone only older than you by about 2 months? We're all old. Well, no. Happy US Thanksgiving. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. The original first Stalker game is 75% off on Steam sale at the moment. Oh, yeah. So if you wanted to buy the original, no, I didn't see. If you wanted to buy the original Stalker game, then apparently it's 75% off on Steam right now. Boss, did you see what I wrote? I did not, boss. That's so funny. Oh, also, I forgot to mention. So when I went to go get groceries to eat something, I drive past this particular bridge every single time. It's okay. It's just one sec. HM, it's okay. It's just that like I think that it's inappropriate to tell Ukrainian people about Russian friends because it almost seems like you're trying to like make us seem like friends or make us seem like brotherly nations and like minimize the fact that we don't want to have anything to do with Russians. It's sort of like you could have just said I have many Ukrainian friends. That's all. You don't have to tell a Ukrainian person I have many Russian and Ukrainian friends. It's going to go over a lot better if you just say I have a lot of Ukrainian friends and just withhold the Russian friends part. And they sell Stalker 2 in Russia so they can use their money for AFU. Yes, they did. So actually, Stalker 2 was like blowing up in sales in Russia. And it's really funny because Russian Telegram channels were like driving we're going crazy. Hi, Christina. Very, very good to see you. We're going crazy because all of the proceeds from the sale of the game go to the armed forces of Ukraine. And all these Telegram channels were like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you stupid people are buying this game and throwing it up there in the charts. And like, you know full well that they like announced that all of the proceeds are going to the armed forces of Ukraine and like blah, blah. And I thought it was so funny because like, yeah, of course Russians don't care. They just want to play the game. It's like I would never spend money on a Russian game. Like right now, I won't spend money on anything Russian unless I somehow literally did not know it was Russian. And if I find out, I'll return it. But yeah, but like I don't even buy things from like brands that support Russia unless I don't know that they support Russia or like didn't exit Russia or something like that. And it's like they literally buy a game, all proceeds of which go to the armed forces of Ukraine. But it's like they thank you so much for the lightning bolt. But they grew up in this game too, so it like it's a nostalgic for them. But yeah, it's quite funny. But what I was gonna say is today when I was driving to get some groceries, I drive past this bridge. Well, I didn't have to drive past this bridge, but I kind of took a very very scenic route, and I mean I literally purposely did not take a specific turn because I still had time before curfew and I just wanted to like go on a drive. Like sometimes you just want to like drive for like 20 minutes and like I don't know. I usually go on like a highway where there's not that many like cars, and I'll just like drive, I don't know, like 95, 100 kilometers an hour for like 20 minutes or something. Because I just sort of want, like, I don't know, it helps me. It helps me think. And I was driving on this bridge, and there was an air defense truck parked there, like with a machine gun battery on it, just like a massive truck with a machine gun battery on it. So yeah, it's one of those things. And it was like it's and I've seen those before, but for some reason it like really hit me, because it was like the soldier who is the air defense, it works in air defense, was like standing by the car just smoking because he was taking a break because the air raid wasn't on. And you could just, like, I don't know, it's just like parked in the middle of a bridge, it's just crazy. What's with the trolls tonight? I don't know, but I love it. It's good that they're coming on here. But also, with that said, it is 2:23 and I should be going to bed. I'm obviously not going to fall asleep anytime soon, but I should be going into the bed and, like, I don't know, turning on the TV and trying to fall asleep to it. I'm not going to work physically tomorrow, but I do have a lot of stuff to do early in the morning. So yeah. I just woke up. Nice, nice, Sammy. What's up, Sam? Why are you making these noises? Poor trolls are lonely and unloved. Yes, poor trolls. So poor. So trolls. Alrighty. See you guys probably tomorrow or the day after that. Okay. Bye. Okay, Belle. Bye. Bye.